Guru Nation, welcome to another episode of Random Musings from the Clinical Trials Guru, 256. You would have got this one right, Chris.
I hope so.
Chris is here. We're interviewing someone. We have a very special guest on today. We have a former CRA Academy student who is now going on his second industry job. Okay, Justin is his name. Justin, how's it going?
Good. How are you, Dan?
I'm doing very good. I'm very glad to be able to interview you. It's been a while. We've been trying to do this interview for some time, but I guess you're busy as a regulatory specialist.
Yeah. It's been a busy year after, graduating from the CRA Academy. Currently I'm working in regulatory after I graduated from the CRA, so that's what I've pretty much been doing this whole time.
Yeah, so why don't you give us some background, who you are, Justin, and then I guess why you got interested in clinical research and what your current job is all about, what kind of employer, all those kind of things, in case there's any future Justins out there listening.
Yeah, sure. A little bit about me. I graduated college with a business major. So as far as research going into this, I thought you needed some kind of science background. After looking deeper into clinical research and talking to other people in forums, people with the same background as me got into clinical research just through experience getting out there and starting from the ground up at sites. So I enrolled myself in the CRA Academy. I know I would have to educate myself in this field, so I enrolled myself in the CRA Academy. Shortly after that, I did an internship at a site out there in LA. It's a non-paid internship for about a month. Then after that, I got hired full-time as a regulatory coordinator out here in LA as well for a SMO, and that's the current job I hold right now.
For an SMO?
Yes, it's a site management organization, so they manage studies for a bunch of sites.
Okay, good. And how did you end up getting that job? Can you give everyone like a rundown? First of all, how did you even get interested in clinical research? What was the reason that you got started in research?
Research, I had no idea what research was about. One of my buddies is actually in the research field, and one time we were just catching up, and he told me more about research and the opportunities within this field. So I started looking into it further, and I thought I'd give it a chance because there's a lot of opportunities in this industry, and not enough people to fulfill these roles. So it's a pretty good industry to get into, so I decided to just jump in.
Okay, good. And then you I assume, because I can't remember now, I know you joined the CRA Academy, but how did you stumble across that particular area of research?
Yeah, sure. For clinical research, so when I was researching about how I would get in this field, I just Googled clinical research certificate or some sort or a school, and one of the top search results was the CRA Academy that I found online, and everything that you guys released was really good content I wasn't able to find anywhere else. So after a while, I decided to enroll with the CRA Academy, and it just so happens you guys happen to be about a 30-40 minute drive from me, so I know after graduation there might be some opportunities where you could connect me with local sites so I could intern at, and that's what I did.
Yep, and you're lucky because you're in Southern California, and this is where the greatest demand for employees in clinical research exists in the entire nation. So students from California, from the West Coast in general, get hired much quicker. But Justin was really good in the sense that I think he was one of our best students. I can't really remember. Do you remember, Chris?
He was good.
Yeah?
remember best. No offense, Justin, but I do remember.
No.
You could say best,
Yeah.
Chris. You could say best.
You can say best. There's nothing wrong with that. All right. So after you graduated, walk me through what you did. First of all, were you applying for jobs while the class was still going on?
Yeah, so during the class, I wasn't really aggressive as far as putting my resume or CV out there. But after graduating and getting my certificate and GCP training and IATA training, I have all that under my belt. I felt more, I guess, confident in applying to places. So right after the CRA Academy and my internship, I just started, visiting the job websites such as Indeed, Career Builder, and I just started spamming everybody with my resumes, and I would get calls and multiple interviews, but nothing really, played out the way I did or I wanted it to. Then this.
Why do you think that was the case?
I think it was an experience factor. I know I entered at the sites and I did my thing there for a little while, but a lot of these places is a very experience influenced industry. They want people with experience, but once you get that experience under your belt, there's going to be more and more opportunities and doors open for you. So that's what I did. I knew with every no, I know I was closer to a yes. So I just kept going at it and just interviewing.
Yeah, so you got rejected. So what you're saying is you got rejected way more often than you got interviews, right?
Yeah, that's correct. So there was a lot of no's, but I knew the more I interviewed, the better I was going to get at it. So I just kept going at it, and that's how I landed this role out here in LA as a regulatory coordinator, where I'm at right now.
And how long after the class did you land that job?
After the class, I want to say it took me 2 months. After 2 months, I got this job, and I've been there. I'm coming up on my 1 year mark with this job.
1 year already.
How many interviews? How many interviews did you have prior to landing the job?
This, I want to say I went to about 3 interviews before I landed this job.
And how many applications do you think you placed?
Applications, I want to say it was a good amount. I want to say between 30 and 50. My application, I was spamming every day to research sites.
That's a pretty good return, though. So it sounds like you had 4 interviews off of about 50 responses to jobs.
Yeah, so I think a big reason why I got such a positive feedback was because of my internship at your site out there in San Bernardino. And I also got a lot of positive feedback at interning at that LA site as well.
Oh, good. Good.
Very good. So you mean to tell me internships actually can help, right?
Mm.
Yeah. It definitely makes your CV stand out a lot compared to other research rookies out there. So if you're gonna have some type of experience and the employer look at you like you're more dedicated to this field when you do intern versus not interning, so they look at you like you're willing to sacrifice whatever it takes to get the job done. So that's what I did. I know I had to sacrifice a little bit part of my life to get the job I want.
So, curiosity question, and I'm sure the audience would like to know. What do you think was more beneficial in your actual job performance? So the job you currently have and have had for about a year, which was more beneficial, the internship or the academy itself, in terms of having a better understanding on how to perform the job?
I want to say the internships is pretty valuable because everything I learned in class, I get the concept, but interning actually gave me real experiences such as dealing with the regulatory binders. In class, you don't really get to see visuals how a regulatory binder looks like, but when I was interning, you actually get to see the regulatory binder, and when I first saw the regulatory binder, I was pretty overwhelmed. I don't even know what I was looking at. It was about a 5 to 8-inch binder with all documents. I got pretty overwhelmed. But after a while of interning, I got more comfortable as each day passes with that binder.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And not to turn this into a sales pitch for the CRA Academy, although, I mean, we're almost full for April. But anyone can intern. You don't need to do our CRA Academy. We make it easier because we set you up with the places to intern. And if there's no place to intern near you, we have you intern for our CRO doing some SSV, some trip reporting, whatever we're doing at that time. But anyone can intern anywhere. It just takes a lot more effort if you go outside of the academy because you've got to develop all those relationships yourself with those sites as opposed to joining our class.
Even that, though, if you're research naive, who's going to want to take you on as an intern? I mean, you have to have some understanding of the material.
And there's the whole other aspect of the material. But let's get off of the academy for a while because, I mean, everyone knows it's great and it helps you get hired. Justin, okay, what do you do at your job? You said regulatory specialist, so or regulatory coordinator. What are you doing? Give me a typical day for you.
A typical day for me would probably be responding to sponsor emails, CRO emails, working with monitors or CRAs. So on a day-to-day, how it would look for me, I would respond to monitors or CRAs. Most of the time, they're requesting essential documents for the study. So if you're missing a protocol signature page, they'll be requesting that. They'll follow up on that until they get it, to work with local sites, how to retrieve those documents, checking the IRB, make sure the IRB is up to date and mirrors the regulatory binder, and new ICF releases. So I would go on the portals, make sure we have the most up-to-date ICF to consent patients. If we don't, it would be an issue for the monitor, and that would pretty much be a follow-up action item or an action item for the site to resolve. So that's pretty much most of what I do on a daily basis. I also review delegation logs, make sure it's up to date with staff members that are currently at the site. And if they're no longer employed at the site, I make sure to put end dates, have the PI sign off on it. And yeah, I think that's pretty much what I do. And I also do site startups for new studies. So I do a big chunk of that.
Pretty much all aspects of regulatory, from startup to close out and everything in between. How many, you said you're working for an SMO. How many sites are you responsible for typically?
Well, this SMO, they actually partnered with the hospitals throughout Southern California. So just to give you, just to give you an idea, our 1572, we have a lot of investigators on it. So when I say a lot, we have around 20 to 30 investigators on a 1572, and 20 to 30 staff members on the DOA. So our DOAs are about 20 to 30 pages long.
And that's a delegation of authorities log for those who don't know.
Did you just say 20 to 30 pages?
Yeah. I've seen some regulatory binders that are 50 pages long.
Would you like to be the CRA on that trial?
I am.
Really? It looks like
that?
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of our monitors actually, they bring that up to us.
Universities have a lot. I'm currently monitoring one university.
So I have a question for you then. So Alcoa.
Me or Justin?
You.
Okay.
So Alcoa, right?
Alcoa-C.
Yeah. So how do you when it comes to attributable, how do you know with the way records are kept who's doing what when there is no source document?
At this site, maybe I'm lucky. I don't know. I've only monitored one university site. Every single page of source is signed and dated by someone.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Okay.
That part I don't have to worry about.
Oh, that's good, because I can imagine that being a complete nightmare with this many people on a DOA.
Yeah. I mean, how do you do that? Well, you're not monitoring it, so you wouldn't know,
right.
Justin. Interesting though. It sounds like a lot of work. Like, what are your, because you don't have any patient interaction right now. Is that something you're okay with? Do you want more patient interaction? What are you looking to get out of that, let's say, the next 5 years of your career? Because you've been doing this for 1 year, which is really good. But now sounds like you're trying to level up your career, which is very good. I recommend everyone do this. What are you trying to become? Like, as your goal?
I think my ultimate goal is probably would be some kind of like in-house CRA supporting the CRA, because based on my lifestyle, I don't see myself traveling for work away from my wife or family for too long. So I think the ideal position for me would probably be an in-house CRA to support the CRA that's actually out there at sites.
Well, then it sounds like the position you're currently interviewing or being considered for hire is perfect for you. That's your end game.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty much at my end game, but at the same time, never say never. So, who knows? Maybe I might get an itch to travel, and I might become a CRA in the future, because with this new interview that I have, they actually want to take me and develop me to eventually become a CRA, but it's really up to me to say. They said, I could be fine with the in-house position, or they could put me in the field if I prefer the field, they said. So it seems like this new company is very supportive.
Sure, and if you're with the right employer and you can negotiate with them that you have no more than 10% of planned travel, that every time spent is in travel, you're probably good with that. You could imagine 1 day every other week having to go somewhere, I would assume. Right? Where you have to travel out of state or something.
Yeah. So I think it's a matter of negotiation and not too much time on the road away from family. Then that type of schedule will work for me.
Yeah, it's so hard to find people with even just any amount of experience in a 2019, 2020 clinical research environment. I mean, you did well, again, because you were amongst the top of the students, I guess. But we've had students that are on the bottom half that have gotten jobs, too.
Oh, yeah.
So really, experience is what matters. And even if it's just a little bit of experience like you had, I mean, everyone needs their start. The internships is perfect, I think. Sometimes they're hard to get. But the knowledge, too. So it's one thing to have the experience in your CV, and then you'll get called for the interviews, but then you got to do well in the interviews, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Did you ever have any interviews early on where you just totally bombed? Like you knew you didn't do well?
Probably in the beginning when I didn't have too much experience. So for someone that's interviewing a research rookie, they could totally read you right away for whether you have experience or not, because they'll throw essential documents, names at you and see if you know what you're talking about. I think in the beginning that's the hardest for me to do in interviews, because there's a lot of documents that you rarely deal with, but once I'm in regulatory, I feel more comfortable talking about these documents because I deal with it on a day-to-day basis.
Can you give an example? What did they ask you? What is a financial disclosure form? What essential documents did they ask you about, if you can recall?
Yes. Some of the interview questions, they'll ask me, what's a 1572? What's a DOA? What's an FDF? Sometimes they'll throw out there, what's an IB acknowledgement? What does that mean? Who needs to sign off on it? Just to gauge your experience and how much you know.
So if you have, and you could have learned, and mind you, I understand, but you could have learned all of this from just the course without the internship, but it's just so much material, it's hard to grasp without that hands-on experience.
Oh, you can learn all this without the course.
Oh, yeah.
We have that 5-hour video now. You can learn all of this, but I think it's the combination of the knowledge, and not just knowledge from an academic standpoint, but knowledge from a practical standpoint, and then mix it with the experience.
Hands-on.
That's the best way to get
the hands-on experience.
Start in this industry.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, most people learn by hands-on.
That's right. Thank you very much, Justin, for sharing your story. If there's any other future Justins out there listening, watching, maybe they're like you were 2 years ago? Can you give them some advice?
Yeah, sure. You could, if you want to get into this field, I highly recommend the CRA Academy. You could do it without it, but with the CRA Academy, it just accelerates the process. So I highly recommend the CRA Academy. Yeah, I think that's the best advice I could give you, future students out there.
So you're happy you took the academy?
I am. I definitely see the return on investment today. Yeah, it definitely helped a lot to boost my career.
Thank you very much, Justin. It makes me very happy when people say that. Keep it up. We're going to keep doing what we do. We're going to keep improving. We're going to keep putting the content out there. But you're living proof that if you want something bad enough, I mean, it wasn't even that hard for you. You know, but
yeah,
you're willing to work for it.
Yeah.
Like, you put in the work. You put in the hours.
You have to put in work.
Yeah. And you did it.
Yeah.
And then you interviewed and you put yourself out there and you put yourself out there until it finally worked out.
Yeah, you got to keep going.
Yep.
Thank you, Justin. Thank you, Chris. Anything else?
No, I think it's good.
We are good. Thank you, everyone, for watching and listening. Good luck, Justin. We're going to do follow-up interviews with you a year after your next job, okay? Because you'll get it. You'll get it.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
We'll go from there. Thank you.
All right, sounds good. Thanks for your time.
Bye.
All right, bye.
Hang up. Justin? Oh, you ended the meeting. Not on the phone.
No, he hung up. I had to, it's still recording. I'm going to have to edit that part out.